So if you've been following along with the E30 project, you'll have seen me repairing this rear jacking point and welding on this outer skin for the rear wheel arch. So now those are done, I can turn my attention to finishing the job off and actually close up this gaping hole in the wheel arch, which is the inner skin. I've picked up this handy repair panel off eBay, which I'm going to use part of. It's not quite as well formed as the outer panel I bought, so it's definitely going to require some beating to make it the right shape. But I should be able to get that welded in, and then it'll be fully sealed off from the elements and this side of the car will be done. Right, after quite a lot of hammering on the bench and in situ on the car, I've got it roughly in the right shape. It's taken way more shaping than I actually expected that, but using the repair panel gave me a great starting point. I think I'd had a much harder time trying to do this out of a flat sheet of metal, and even now it's not perfect. So what I've done is with it clamped in, I sprayed from the inside just to mark where I think it needs cutting. You might be able to see the lines there, and I also made a mark there. So I'm going to cut that, and then I'm going to clamp it back in and see what it looks like. And from there, my intention is to do the plug welds along the rim of the arch, so I can weld this piece in firmly on this edge. And then I'll need to do a bit more hammering and pressing probably to get it to line up as best it can on the actual inner arch. And then I'll get the inner bit welded in too. I've sprayed some weld through primer in there and on the back of this, just to make sure all the inaccessible parts of this have got a coat of something to protect them from rust in the future. And the next thing I need to do is get my holes drilled along this lip so that I can do plug welds into this and join the two pieces of metal along this edge. So I'm going to crack on with that. Patch welded in, and after quite a lot of messing about, it fits up pretty well and it's in there very firmly. When I was welding it, I had a little bit of an issue. There was lots of like porosity in the welds I was doing, and I think that's because I couldn't quite clean the backside of this piece of sheet metal. But luckily, as I went, it was getting better and better, probably because whatever's on the back is burned off. As you can see, there is still a strange diamond shaped hole there, and that's because the patch that I had didn't quite stretch to meet what I'd left in from when I cut the actual rust out. So I've got a strange patch to put in there now, which doesn't look like it'll be too difficult, to be honest. So I'll get that traced up onto masking tape, and then I'll get that welded in. And with that final piece welded in there, this side of the car's done, outer skin's on, jacking points fixed, and the inner arch is done. From where it started, I'm really pleased with how that's gone. Not everything went perfectly, not everything's the prettiest, but for my first ever attempt at something like this, I'm quite satisfied with it. So the next thing I need to turn my attention to is actually the arch on the other side, which has some rust holes on the inner arch along the top. However, I probably won't make you suffer through that, because it'll probably be largely the same as what I've been doing here really. Goes without saying, there's still plenty to do on this car, and there's all the bodywork to look forward to yet. But I'm really looking forward to getting that rear subframe back on so the car can roll again. That'll be a milestone at this point. But if you've enjoyed watching this, then why not subscribe and hit the like button as well. Thank you very much.